All right, we should be live. What is up, everybody? Um, we're gonna get into the NASCAR race today, Talladega. Just go over some things. You guys have any questions? Be sure to just let me know in the chat. I will answer them for you. That's kind of just main goal here is to answer questions. I'll go through strategy on lineup building real quick. I'll go over who I like in each range, what I'm doing today, like the type of lamps I'm playing and stuff. So make sure to like this video though real quick. That really helps. So maybe we'll get a good bit of viewership in today, but maybe not. So we'll see what happens. Usually get more for the other series, so we'll see. But we'll start out. So I'm going to talk about, I guess, lineup building. So for this race, I mean, you guys have probably already seen my other videos, but like, just it's going to be, you're going to want to stack the back and don't worry about salary. Like I mean, it actually did kind of work yesterday. It's just not the lineups I built worked. The optimal lineup yesterday, actually, it was one driver from the top 12, one driver from the mid range, and four from the back. And it only spent $4,100, and it wasn't even a wreck fest yesterday, so and it still worked out. Like Austin Cindric led the most laps in that race by far, and he finished second, and he still was not optimal. So, I mean, I know that's Xfinity, but they still are pretty similar. So, for the most part, we're going to be, still want to stack the back for the most part. I like to do my 4-1-1s, my 3-2-1s, or my 2-2-2s. That's kind of how I want to do for tournaments. For cash, literally stack to back. So in cash yesterday, I don't usually play cash on super speedways. That's just, I mean, I've done it before. I just don't really enjoy it. So, but yesterday I saw a lot of cash lines that did stack to back work. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, stacking to back, you can say it backfired, but it was still like the winner in the two GBPs I played yesterday. The winner did have a stack to back lineup. It's just none of the guys that were popular as stacking to back lineup players worked. Like Jason White did not work. It was like David Starr, Jeffrey Earnhardt. Like it wasn't guys that anyone played. So it was just the lower owned ones. But like, I mean, yeah, if you were just trying to do a cash lineup or just place in a GPP, then yeah, probably stacking the back didn't really do anything for you. But the optimal lineup was still a stacking the back lineup. More 4-1-1s or 3-2-1s today. I think I'm gonna go more 3-2-1s because you get down in this bottom group down here, and it's just there's not a ton of great players, or great drivers I want to use. Like in the 26 through 40 range, I'm using LaJoy, I'm using Custer, I'm using Newman, Priest, Alfredo, Haley, Growl, and Burton. It's just a lot to not like. I don't want to play some of these back markers. Now you can play them, and those guys could work if there's a lot of wrecks. Like if it's a ton of wrecks, the cars don't go a lap down, they're fine. But if this race stays green, like guys like Quinn Houff, BJ McLeod, Cody Ware, Balicki, Gase, like those guys are going to get lapped. And they're not going to be, even if there's a big wreck at the end, they're not going to be able to catch back up because they're not going to be able to have enough wave around chances to get it. So, yeah, I mean, that's just, I prefer the 3-2-1 state just because I really like this 13 to 25 range in here. Really like getting some of these guys in there. So, any projected high-owned plays you're looking to pivot off of? Every single time there's a really high-owned guy that starts in the back, and I don't play him, he always finishes top 5, and I'm just like, it happens to me every time. But actually, not really. I mean, I think the high-owned plays are going to be Burton and Gralla, but, like, I want to play them. Let's see, any other high-owned guys? Like, I think, okay, so I'm playing some guys starting up front, but I'm not playing Denny Hamlin or Joey Logano because I think regardless, Hamlin starts on the pole, and I still think he's going to get a decent enough amount of ownership. So, I mean, Hamlin won't be that high owned, but for a guy that's starting not in the back, the ownership's going to be too much. I already know that. But really, everything else, I don't think I'm really worried about ownership that much today. There's not like many guys that really just like. There's no like top end drivers that are starting at the back that just stick out as like going to get a ton of ownership in tournaments here. Like I just don't see it happening. So I feel like it's just going to be really spread out. So I'm not too worried about that. Yaley, Alfredo, or Custer to finish out my cash lineup. Thanks, bro. Not Yaley. Alfredo starts farther back, but I have more confidence in Custer finishing higher, so probably Custer. Yeah, don't play JJ Yaley today. He's not in a good car. If this race goes green, if this race goes green, he's going to go laps down, and he's just not going to be able to get him back. Now, he could work, and these guys could work in tournaments, like I just said, but I don't have any ownership to them. I might never play them in tournaments anyway. It's just I don't like to bank on garbage cans driving around to make me money. So, but yeah, this I think the tournaments are going to be won in this range right here today. It's going to be what's your right combination of drivers in this range. Like, is Stenhouse wins the race and Buescher finishes third? Like, is it stuff like that, or does Eric Almirola finish really high? So does Kevin Harvick. Like, just stuff like that. I don't think it's going to be these back guys because they're going to be like they're going to score points. But everyone's playing Timmy Hill and not Timmy Hill. Everyone's playing Harrison Burton, Kaz Grala, Alfredo, Priest, Newman. They're going to get a lot of ownership. I'm interested on Justin Haley's ownership. This is honestly probably my favorite play down here, just because I don't think a lot of people are going to play him because nobody plays him in the first place. So I think everyone kind of thinks he's in a bad car, which I mean, compared to all the other cars, it's not good. But he's not in a Rick Ware car or a BJ McLeod car. Like that car's actually that's the same car LaJoy, the same team as Corey LaJoy. It's decent enough to hang up around in the pack. And we know Haley's a good plate racer. He's won 3 of these things in the Xfinity series, so a really good plate racer. So I mean, this is definitely someone I think that's going to be lower owned that I want to get ownership to. That car should hang around. We've seen that car do well at plate races before. Jamie McMurray did pretty well at the Daytona 500. We've seen Ross Chastain drive that well, so I like that car today. I like getting some Justin Haley. I think I'm going to stack the higher end in the middle, 26-35. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I like that more. I just like, because it's like kind of like a dead zone here from like 30 to 40, except for three drivers from 30 to 40 are the only guys I'm playing. So I do like going more in that like middle of the pack. I think that's going to be a good strategy today. Playing like LaJoy, Custer, Bubba Wallace, McDowell, those guys I think are going to do pretty well. Do you look at team stacks or manufacture? No, I really don't. That is a strategy that like NASCAR, like real life NASCAR teams, they work together in these plate races, but the last 2 laps, everyone just goes freaking crazy, and they're not all gonna. Usually, it happens sometimes, but for the most part, they don't. For the most part, they don't finish that way. They don't finish that way. So like they're just all gonna like Blaney. Like okay, so Penske Racing always works together at these plate tracks, and they do really well. And that's Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, and Brad Keselowski, and they'll probably at very good amounts of times they'll all three be in the top 5, and maybe just 1, 2, 3. And Matty Benedetto usually works them as well. But at the end of the race, they're all going to go for it. I mean, we literally saw those guys go for it in Daytona 500, and they wrecked each other. And I mean, that's just you're going to have a guy. There's probably going to be a guy that's in 15th in 2 laps to go that finishes in the top 5. That's just how these plate races go, and it's going to be vice versa. Guys are going to get shuffled to the back. So no, I don't really like to go. I don't really like to make lineups based on that team stacking. It can work if the race stays green, they stay single file. But like you saw yesterday, they don't want to stay single file. I know they did in Daytona 500, but that's because that was a different race because there was a big crash like 20 laps in, and then there was a long rain delay. These guys just wanted to get through the race, but I don't think this one will be like that, especially if the way the playoffs are right now. We have had what are we on race 10, and we've had 9 different winners. So it's just there's gonna be every guy's going to be going for it. Like, there's so many guys that can win a race that can get into the playoffs. Like, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has had a great year. He needs to make the playoffs. He can go win this race. Justin Haley or Ross Chastain. Haley starts farther back. Who's your 3 guys from 3 to 40? It's going to be Justin Haley, Kaz Grala, and Harrison Burton. They're all in good enough equipment to run with the pack. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. The other guys are in bad cars. They'll go laps down. But those 3 should be fine. Are you changing your lines at all based on how Xfinity race played out? No, not really. The Xfinity race, the only reason that race did not end up well for DFS-wise is because of the rain. It rained with 30 laps to go and a race was called, so there wasn't the chance for the big crash to happen, for there to be a bunch of chaos because it started raining. And it started raining under caution too, so it's not like they it's just what they just weren't able to. It wasn't that race was not allowed to play out like a normal plate race, and obviously we didn't know that going in. We didn't know it was going to get shortened by rain. So especially under caution, because there's been races before that at these plate races that have been shortened by rain, but the teams know the rain's coming while they're still driving, and then they all wreck. Justin Haley won a Cup race a few years ago because of that crap. So I'm not really too worried about yesterday at all. That's not going to be a race I really look at ever for DFS again because of the way it ended. I'm happy Jed Burton won. I mean, it's cool to see him win that race, but who knows who would have won? Does Truex finally get off the wild at super speedways? I don't know what that means. Message retracted. I'm assuming you're going to say that again. I mean, I think the big key today is playing some of the guys who are going to be lower owned. Like, I don't think Justin Haley's going to get a lot of ownership. I don't think Anthony Alfredo. I bet Priest does. I don't think like Chase Briscoe. Like, guys like that aren't going to see a lot of ownership, and they're from the back, and they have upside, to finish inside the top 10 because it's freaking Talladega. and those are going to be the DFS plays that do really well. Does Truex finally get off the or core play? Okay. Does Truex finally get off the snot at Super Speedway? Oh, okay. Yeah, no. I mean, we'll see. I know he's just kind of trash here at the Super Speedways. He's done better at Daytona than Talladega. We've seen him almost win twice at Daytona. Like I think he finished. Was like literally an inch away from the 500 once. He finished second to Byron, I think, or he finished top 5 to Byron, and he finished second to Jones. So I think he finished top 5 in the Byron win last year. I don't remember. But we've seen him do well at Daytona, but Talladega, it just seems like that track's disaster. I actually have no Truex today. I have 0 Truex. Once I answer this next question, I'm gonna go over what I did with if I'm playing tournaments with my exposures to the guys up front. Core plays, Harrison Burton, Kaz Gralla, Haley in tournaments. Probably want to put Haley in cash. Priest, those are like my core guys. Haley or Gralla. Equipment wise, Gralla. See, that's kind of tough because we don't really know what. I still think it's Gralla. So he's in the Collie car, which is getting backed by Richard Childress Racing, which is good equipment. And then you got the Spire cars, which have been better this year than we've seen in the past. Spire's definitely been a lot better this year. That team's like on the come up to being like a JTG Daugherty, that kind of ceiling team. So I like where they're going wise, but like that we saw the AJ Allmendinger drive the Collie car to Daytona Road Course, and I mean obviously it's a Daytona Road Course, completely different. And AJ Allmendinger is a really good road course driver, but he drove well. I think he led laps, or at least he was in the top 5 for most of it. I think he had a penalty, didn't finish high, but he still did well. So I think that's the car. Kaz Gralla into 500 was fine. Like I mean he was doing pretty much what I thought he would, kind of hanging around the back, but not too far back where he's going to go laps down. And then he had like a tire catch on fire, and that was just the end of it. So yeah, I think Gralla is safer equipment wise, but I mean they're pretty even. They're pretty close. All right, so for today, in tournaments today, I wanted to bring down my pool of drivers in the top 12 I was using a lot. So what I did was I just sort of was like most of the time in half of the optimal lineups over the past 2 years when we had a driver that was in the top 12 be optimal, they won the race. So I went with guys I really could think could win a race. I faded Hamlin and Logano because they only have a floor, and I think they'll get some ownership. So I faded them. I don't think Truex would win, so I faded him. I'm playing Byron and Bowman. They're both really good plate racers. Bell, I'm not playing. Blaney, I'm playing. Elliott, I'm playing. Kyle Busch, no. Keselowski, yes. Austin Dillon, no. And Larson, yes. Those are the guys I played at the top. I just figured if you're going to play someone in this top 12, play someone who you think can win a race. Don't play a driver just because they're starting up there. Like, I don't think Christopher Bell's going to win. Like, I just don't. And maybe he does. And if he does, oh well. But I've never seen anything from Christopher Bell that makes me think he's a great plate racer. I know William Byron's good here. He's won. We've seen him win at Daytona. We know Keselowski has the most wins at Talladega in the field right now. Like, he's a great plate racer. Same thing, Chase Elliott's won here. We've seen him do well at these plate races. So if you are playing someone up here in a tournament-only lineup, obviously, do not play anyone starting above 20th in cash. It's a mistake. But in a tournament, if you're playing one of these guys that are starting up front, make sure it's someone who you think can win. Don't make it someone who is not going to win this race. Don't make it Kyle Busch. The dude's just bad at these plate tracks, especially Talladega. Not good for him. He just has bad luck here, but still. All right, we got any more questions? Keep firing the questions in, and make sure to leave a like on this video. Get it out to more people. If you have not subscribed, subscribe as well. Let's see. I think we need to go through the 13 to 25 range and just see who are the guys who we really feel like have a chance to run up towards the front and win. Like, not just hang around, but actually run up the front. Like, Matty Benedetto has done very, very well at these plate tracks. Same thing with Eric Almirola. He's done very well at these plate tracks. Kurt Busch, another guy I really like here. Harvick, really like here. Stenhouse, I really like. But someone like Ross Chastain, I mean, he's okay. Like, he's not, I don't think anyone's going to play him, so that might be a good ownership play. But in the sense of him being someone who we think could really get a shot at winning, probably not. Suarez has never been good at the plate tracks, so I don't really expect anything from him at all. I like Tyler Reddick. I think Reddick's someone who's going to go somewhat under-owned because he, like, you don't think of Tyler Reddick as a plate racer, but he's actually, done really well at these plate tracks. We saw him, he almost won Talladega, like, what was it, I think literally this race a year ago. He was up front the whole time, almost won this race. Reddick's done well. And I really don't think anyone's going to play him. Someone who has place differential, someone who can win this race. Love Chris Buescher and Eric Jones too today. I feel gross making. It's not fun. Even I've been making lineups like this for a while and had success with it. But I still hate it, man. I hate making these stupid lineups. It's not fun. Like, it's not fun leaving $6,000 on the table when you're seeing, oh, I could jump up from Eric Jones to Denny Hamlin. Ooh, that's nice. Like, I mean, you want to do that, but like in any other race you would do it, but like not here. It's just that's just how it is. So, yeah. Any other questions you guys got for me in this chat on this beautiful Sunday? I'm so happy it's Talladega. I'm so mad that stupid race ended like it did yesterday, man. I mean, we just had a really, really good race going. Like, they were aggressive. That was one of the better Talladega races in a while, and then boom, rain. And it came out of nowhere. Like, the radar was fine, and it's just a pop-up storm. Just ruined it. So, now we only probably going to get one good finish, hopefully. This race better not end under caution. We better get a, side-by-side finish to the line like last year. Like, last year's Talladega finish, one of the best of all time. Absolutely awesome. But I hope Stenhouse wins it this year. Gosh. Any other questions you guys got for me up in here? Anything you want me to go over, talk about? Lineup strategy, just plays in general. Anybody move to the back? I don't believe so. No, I haven't heard anything. I can check. Let me go look at Pocker's Twitter real fast. But to be honest, it doesn't really matter for this track. Like, that is not something that I care about because, like, you can go from literally 40th to 10th in like a lap at Talladega. So it's not that. It's not something I'm worried about at all. It says, Bob said, inspection is occurring this morning. Typically find out info about 90 to 120 minutes, so an hour and a half to 2 hours prior to the race. I mean, it's 2 hours now to the race, so thanks, Nate. Good info. Yeah, thank you. What's the weather look like? Let's check real quick. I mean, yesterday it looked fine. Like, I remember looking yesterday and it looked good, but I have not checked this morning. Oh, it's going to be sunny all day. Beautiful. It's not even going to be cloudy. It's going to be sunny at Talladega. Great. That means we're going to finish a race. Watch, it's going to start randomly snowing in Alabama today. Who does Bob have winning? Let's see. Who does Bob have winning? Hold on. My pick for today, Logano. He has Logano winning, Kyle Busch second, Ryan Blaney third, Denny Hamlin fourth, Alex Bowman fifth, long shot, Eric Jones. I mean, yeah, Joey Logano, when he's a top 2 plate racer right now in NASCAR. Like, I think there's a clear 4 guys in plate races that are just so much better than everybody else. It's Hamlin, Logano, Blaney, and Keselowski. Those guys are far ahead, better than everybody else these plate tracks. Than everyone else. Have you been to any races? I've been to Charlotte. I've been to Bristol. I'm from Charlotte, so yeah, I've been there a few times. It's fun. NASCAR's fun. I'm really, once post-COVID is over, I would like to go there. Go some more. You like Burton best out of 30 through 40 guys you mentioned? Yeah, I think so. He starts farthest back. He's probably... this car is going to be pretty good. The Gaunt cars have been a little bit better than they were last year, and Burton has sponsorship. Like, he has full sponsorship. Like, that Dex that we see sponsored the Xfinity cars is going to be sponsoring him today. So, yeah, that's probably the guy I like the best. He's a smart driver. I don't really expect him to do anything special, but, he should have a good run. Any other questions? You see that UFC card last night? Oh my gosh, I cannot believe Usman. That was one of the best UFC cards I've ever seen. I don't really watch a ton of it, but that was a night, man. The kick to the face before the woman kick to the face was ridiculous, and then Usman just knocked Masvidal out. And Usman Masvidal been talking a lot of crap about Usman, right? Saying that he can't hit hard, and then Usman has, in his last 4 fights, has knocked out 3 of the last 4. That guy's legit, man. He might be the best in the world. Like, legitimately the best in the world. He's so good. Great fight. Any other questions about today's NASCAR races? Let's see. Anything else we should talk about? Do anyone know where they're racing next week? Honestly, I have no idea. Is next week finally another road course? I heard that there's supposed to be 5 more road courses before the playoffs, and that's like half the rest of the regular season, basically. Good luck today, brother. Thanks for the info. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good luck to you as well. Hopefully today goes better than yesterday. Yesterday was not great. If yesterday the race ended correctly, it would have been a lot better. Is Buescher good at plate races? Yeah, Buescher's pretty good. He's almost won a few of these, actually. I don't think he'll win, but yeah, he's good at plate races, like him. I don't think anyone's going to play him today either. Let's make some cash. Yes, sir. Let's make some cash. That is the goal. I'm trying to, to get a takedown today. Or one of you hopefully gets a takedown in a tournament. That is the way to go. Favorite 9K plus guys? Or 9.5K plus? Who starts farthest? Harvick? Yeah, Harvick. That's my favorite one. He starts the farthest back, and then after that, it would go. I mean, Larson's 9.4. I'll just throw him in there. Then Larson and Keselowski literally go up the list on starting. Harvick or Blaney? Harvick starts farther back. Do you Priest's run at Talladega is over? I don't see why. I mean, I don't think he'll have a top 3 again. Like we've seen him do that before, but he should be able to have a top 10. I mean, I like him here. Starts 29th. He has top 10 upside. He's shown before to be a good plate racer. I feel like he might have won a race here in the Xfinity Series. I'm not sure on that. Don't. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that with confidence. I feel like I know he's done well at the Xfinity Series, but I want to say he's won here before, but I'm not sure. Kansas next week. Oh, okay, I like Kansas. That's a good track. That's usually a fun race. I hope it's a night race again too. That was a good last year. The Kansas night race was great until either Hamlin or Harvick won again. I'm so happy this year. It's like a whole different group of drivers winning. Like last year sucked when you had the same guys win every single week. Like it was literally every 2 out of 3 weeks it'd be Hamlin and Harvick. But this is different this year, and neither of them have won. What a year! What a year in NASCAR. I tweeted out earlier today that like all the drivers that have not won a race this year in all 3 series is absolutely ridiculous. And then all the drivers that have won that are not normal front runners. Like this year, McDowell and Christopher Bell have won races and they're not normal front runners. And then Josh Berry, Ty Gibbs and stuff. It's just crazy. It's just been a weird year. Any other questions we got in the chat? Someone sent me a trade. Anyone you think is a lock? I mean, I don't ever want to say a lock at Talladega at all. But, I mean, the first guy I put in a lineup today would be Harrison Burton. I mean, he starts he starts about as far back, almost dead last. But, Timmy Hill's in a bad car. He's a smart driver and decent enough equipment. So, I mean, if there is a lock, quote unquote, it'd probably be that. But even then, I don't really think he's a lock. It's just hard because Talladega, anybody can wreck. I don't want to say a lock at all. But the closest thing to a lock is Harrison Burton. Oh my gosh. Yeah, a lock at Dega. Yeah, it's a wreck fest, man. Or it could be. For DFS sake, I kind of hope it's a wreck fest, but at the same time, it's a lot more fun when it's clean. That race is awesome finishes when it's clean. But we're trying to make money today. If that's the real goal, then yeah, I hope there's a bunch of wrecks. Thanks, Dane. Have a good one. Yeah, dude, you too. Good luck today. Any other questions before we head out? I mean, I still got a good amount of viewers in here, and only half of you have liked it. If you make sure to like the video, bro. Make sure to like it. Bring this like thing up. Subscribe if you're new. Usually there's no one new in these, but if it's someone new, subscribe. Go for it. Helps a ton. And fortunately, today's race starts at 2 o'clock. It's not 4. If they said NASCAR and their starting times is ridiculous, and it's not NASCAR, it's the TV's fault. But we would have been able to run that whole race yesterday if it wasn't for the rain, or if they had started it earlier. Best play point per dollar. I mean, I don't know. That's tough because that doesn't necessarily matter today. Because I'm not worried. When you're making a lineup, don't worry about filling out your salary. I mean, because to be honest, it could be any of these guys on here. One of these guys starting 25th on back is going to get a top 10. Or maybe even a top 5. And at that point, they're going to be the best point per dollar. That's a hard question just because it doesn't necessarily matter today. But, I mean, if you really want me to go there, my guess would probably be Priest. He's cheap. He starts far back, and I think he's got the highest upside out of, the really cheaper guys. I think he, more than times out of not finishes higher than Grawl and Burton. It's just they have more place differential, so if they finish around the same spot, they're going to score more, but Burton's more expensive. So point per dollar, probably Ryan Priest. I don't really expect Kaz Grawl to compete for a top 10, but he should get a top 20 if there's a bunch of wrecks and he stays away from him. And hopefully this race doesn't go like Daytona, where there's a huge wreck 30 laps in, because that kills everything, man, everything. And all of the drivers that I played on that race were all in that. And that's when I faded Denny Hamlin like an idiot. Never again will I fade Denny Hamlin starting in the back. Stupid decision at Daytona, and that just cost me big. I did not do good that day at all. Not at all. Bad day. All right, any other questions before we head out? I'm locked on Timmy Hill and Burton and Growlett. I wouldn't play Timmy Hill, but Burton and Growlett are good. Timmy Hill, his car is not good enough to keep up with the main pack. The only way Timmy Hill works out today is if there is like wrecks all the time. If the race does not go green for a long period of time, because if the race goes green for a long period of time, Timmy Hill's going to get lapped, and if it goes for a really long time, he's going to get lapped multiple times. And then there's wrecks at the end. He's still going to finish behind those guys that wrecked out because he's laps down, and there's not going to be enough laps for him to catch back up. So I don't really want to play Timmy Hill. He can work. There's scenarios where he does, but I have a hard time seeing that really working out. So yeah, I'd much rather do just Growlett and Burton for sure, fine. But Timmy Hill, I would not go there. Any more questions in here? I hope Justin Haley comes in low owned. I'm really interested on Haley's ownership. I could see him being like 30-40%. I could also see him being like 7. Who would you sub with Hill in the 5K range? Well, you already said Growlett, right? Alfredo or Haley, one of those two in the 5K range. That's what I sub him for. Any other questions? Oh, Corey LaJoy you can put there too, but I prefer Alfredo and Haley. If you want to go LaJoy, I don't think LaJoy is going to get as much ownership as he should today. He starts higher than these guys, but like he's done really well at these plate races. So, any other questions? Any other questions? And of course, if you don't if you don't feel comfortable asking a question, or I don't answer it for whatever reason, you can always follow me on Twitter. It's @Nalien_, and you can go send me a DM or just comment on one of my tweets, and I'll respond to you. I've got nothing going on in the next 2 hours. Be sitting there, probably cleaning up my apartment. Vibing to some music. You know the vibes. Any other questions? Any other questions? I'm probably going to give it another minute or two, and then I'm probably going to head out if I don't get anything. If you guys give me something, I'll stay, though. Good. You actually had a pretty decent amount of viewers today. Much better than yesterday. Yesterday I got, like, nobody. I know it's my first one in a while, but sheesh. Some of you guys weren't here, though. I recognized the regulars. You can always go back and watch my other videos too. If you want to know more about the lineup strategy, how to build lineups, I made a whole video on that. It's the Talladega lineup strategy video. That one gets into more of the strategy making lineups. I know I didn't go over as much in this one, but it's it's a little like 15-20 minute video, and it just goes over breaking down what you gotta do, why you're making the lineups like that, and how to make them. So, like, not worrying about salary and stuff. All right, I guess I'm gonna head out. Yesterday was disappointing. Yeah, man. I mean, it was just stupid rain. Just killed everything. It just killed everything. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. I can't believe that, man. I was, enjoying a race. Like, Talladega and Daytona are the two races where I literally can see, like, other races, there's times where I'll just end up on my phone on a long green flag run, not really paying attention. But Talladega and Daytona, like, I'm literally, focused on that. It's like watching a football game for me. Like, watching a football game, I never am not watching it when it's on. Like, I'm never just sitting there on my phone. Like, except maybe to check fantasy football. But I'm always watching. Like, I'm into that game. That's what Talladega and Daytona are for me. Who's your top 2 C Dom? I'm assuming that means Dominator. I would not be even trying to play Dominators in this race. It's not going to be needed. It's going to be all place differential, not enough laps. It's going to be very spread out. So don't worry about playing Dominators. Play more place differential. If you're playing 2 guys starting up here as a Dominator, you're not going to do well. It's going to be very hard to cash. Unless, like, literally the rest of your guys start in the back and they all do amazing, like finish top 10, then you'll be fine. But I wouldn't worry about Dominators today. I made a whole video on that as well. I can link it in here. I'm also thinking about locking Eric. If you want to play Eric Almirola's a fine play to me. He starts 14th, gives you place differential, but I would definitely not call him a lock at all. At all. He offers too much PD downside, so if he wrecks, you're going to get negative points. But he's fine play. I don't hate him. It's just I wouldn't call him a lock or anything. Any other questions before we head on out of here and go enjoy this great Sunday? Gonna go watch some NASCAR with the boys. Got my roommate into NASCAR. Guys from Connecticut didn't know anything about NASCAR, but now he likes it. So bet on Denny Hamlin today. All my lineups have 4K plus salary left. Yep, that's fine. I have a bunch. I have some with more, some with less, some with more. Appreciate it. Yep. Have a good one, Kemper. Do not worry about the salary. It's not a big deal. Every other race, I would tell you to fill it out. I do fill it out every other. Like literally, most races, I make sure all my lineups have less than 500 left over. But at Talladega, I make it so there's not one. I don't have one lineup at $49,000 today. Not one even close. Well, I mean, I have some in the 48,000 range, but not one. I made sure I did not go over $49,000 in the salary today. Not fun making those lineups. I'm telling you, it is not fun. But hey. Any other questions? My buddy in New York got me into NASCAR, and I'm from the South. Hello. Hey, man, that's how it is. That's how it goes sometimes. My roommates always, they want me to, not watch NASCAR most of the time. They're like, put on basketball, put on baseball. I'm like, I don't really care. But I always make sure if it's Daytona or Talladega, I'm like, no, these are the two races I get to watch on the TV, the big TV. Otherwise, I'm always watching on my laptop or whatever while they got some stupid baseball game that's irrelevant going on in the background. Not today, though. All right, if I don't get any more questions in about another minute, I'm probably going to head out. If you ask me more, I'll stay. Be sure to leave a like if you have not. If you have not subscribed to this channel, be sure to subscribe as well. But yeah. All right, guys, that's it. Have a great rest of your day. If you have any more questions, ask me on Twitter. I will answer them for you. But yeah, that's really all I got. Have a good one. Oh, right, we're done with that shit.